Are you confused about the direction that your life should be going? Are you wondering why you're not feeling joyful about the work that you're doing, or maybe you're just generally not happy in your life? Well, in the next few minutes, I'm going to talk to you about sacred gifts. And I have a program coming up that is called Discover Your Sacred Gifts. It's done on the Google platform. You can check it out at danasmithers.com/programs/sacred-gifts. But what I wanted to talk to you about today is the difference between what's called your humanness versus your beingness. Because our sacred gifts don't lie within our humanness. Now, I'm doing this hangout show for you to answer that specific question that I get asked all the time. Well, you know, I've got skills and talents. Somebody else has got the same skills and talents. Why do we have different careers? Why is someone abundant? Why is someone not abundant? Well, my name is Dana Smithers. I am a certified sacred gifts guide, and I'm also a certified law of attraction trainer and business coach. So I like to look at the program of sacred gifts with the foundation of the law of attraction, right? You attract into your life whatever you give your attention, energy, or focus to. So we've got personalities that come into play in our life, and sometimes it's our personality, along with the emotions that we have in that personality, that can take us off track or make us feel that we're not living on purpose, that life is not very much fun, and yet you're looking at somebody else and saying, well, how come that's going on for them? Well, I'll explain this to the best of my ability here, and I'm going to do it using the human-ness versus beingness analogy. Now, I'm not the creator of the Sacred Gifts program. Monique McDonald created Discover Your Sacred Gifts, and I love the program so much because when I discovered what my sacred gifts were, my career path actually changed. And I was very, very surprised to discover some of the sacred gifts that I had. And once I discovered that, I used these sacred gifts with a lot more reverence, and I consider finding out my spiritual gifts as part of my spiritual journey. So I know many women are on spiritual journeys, and they often come to a place where they are looking for more meaning. They want to feel more on purpose, because law of attraction is all about feeling. If you're doing something that doesn't feel good, then you've got to stop and ask yourself, well, what is it that I could do that would actually help me feel good? So I'm going to talk about the humanness versus the beingness here a minute. So in our humanness, we've got this big thing at the top here, that personality. So your personality, you know, is your personality. There are no two personalities alike, but inside that personality, you know, and that humanness, we've also got labels. So you might label yourself, and you might say, well, I'm an addict, or I'm a survivor. I had heart disease and I survived, or I'm a hero, or I'm an achiever, or we may go to the other label of things that we put on ourselves in the humanness, which is often, well, I'm a mother, I'm a daughter, I'm a friend, I'm a husband, I'm a wife, I'm a teacher. We could talk about our careers. I'm a writer, all of those things. And then we look down, and then in this humanness as well, we've got this gamut of emotions. So as I said, two people could have the same career, be doing the same job, but their personalities are so different. And I'm also going to talk about skills and talents in a minute as well. But we can look at people who have you know, taken part in forming our personality, our humanness, our teachers, our parents, our friends, our peers, or whatever. And the last thing I'm going to talk about is skills and talents. So skills and talents reside in your humanness, not your beingness. Your humanness is all these things that I've described, and we can learn skills. For example, I did not come born with the gift of technology or how to do these Google Hangouts, but I learned how to do it. So someone has taught me the skill, and I'm quite comfortable in it now, and I can do it. Now, as far as a talent goes, over here, when you look at your talents, so your skills and your talents are part of your humanness. So I may have the talent of, let's say I have a talent of dancing. I'm a pretty good dancer, but it's not anything I would ever think about doing as a career. So someone might have a really good voice and they love singing to themselves, and or they might sing to a few people, but they're not looking at it as a career. It's just for the benefit of themselves. So that's when we get into the beingness. So what's the difference of, here's our beingness, right? So it goes all the way down right here into the center. And that is where our supernatural gifts reside. So they're not skills and talents, but they're supernatural gifts that we have been given by God, source, universe, whatever you want to call it. It's entirely up to you. Creator, divine intelligence, whatever. But everybody comes to the earth with sacred gifts. And the way Monique teaches her program, she has done it with the platform of there being 24 sacred gifts. And we all have 3 or 4, maybe 5 or 6. The number is not important. What's important is how we feel about it. But the definition of a sacred gift, which is different from the skills and talents, is that we always do it for the benefit of somebody else. So I'm going to say that again. We always do it for the benefit of somebody else. So there are 24 sacred gifts, and some of the gifts are listed on here. Let's say for me, I actually do have this gift of teaching. So when I'm teaching or training as I'm doing right now, I discovered that that was a sacred gift. So even before I start to do a hangout or any type of training, whether it's in person, offline, or online, I always sit quietly, set my intention, and I ask the universe to just guide me. If there's anything people need to know, if somebody needs to meet me or be attracted to me, that can happen, that somebody benefits from what I'm doing. And the other part of the equation of you sharing, these 24 sacred gifts that you've got 3 or 5 of, is that it has to bring you joy. Right? Like when I'm doing this or training online, offline, I feel so good. I feel so on purpose. I feel alive. I feel energetic. This isn't actually anything that I learned. It's just something that I love to do. And someone else will say to me, well, you're such a natural at it. And I remember when I found out that writing was one of my sacred gifts, and I said, well, anybody can write, and other people that were in the group went, no. So for me, I have that sacred gift of writing, and I love to do it. I like to do guest blogging. I like to write ebooks. I blog all the time. I like to, I keep a journal, those kinds of things. And I'm not going to say I'm in the process of writing another book yet, but there's probably going to be another book. I'm not sure what that's going to be. But it'll be different than anything else I've written, because I am a published author in another business that I used to be in before I started doing this. So I hope that's answered your question about the difference between humanness and beingness. And in our beingness is where the sacred resides. So I look upon any gift that I have now, I look upon it with reverence, that I've been given this gift, and it's really my responsibility to get out in the world and share it. So I hope that that's piqued your interest, and perhaps you want to find out what your sacred gifts are, so that you can feel more on purpose. And a lot of sacred gifts, interesting fact that Monique shares in her talk, is that 90% of the people in the world do not know what their sacred gifts are. And I'm going to tell you that I didn't really, even though I'd been using some of my sacred gifts throughout my life, I didn't really know what they were. So I would do this, and I would try this, and I would try this, and I would try that. And some of these things I feel really great about and on purpose, and other things not so much. So even when I was in the corporate world, when I was training salespeople, when I had 11 branches and I was training people, in the job. I really enjoyed that. And then when I got doing other things, and I didn't really know why, so now I do. I have that sacred gift of teaching and training and writing and encouragement, and a few other gifts as well, but those are the ones that really bring me a lot of joy. So I hope you're interested in finding out about what your gifts are, and I hope that's answered some questions for you. If not, please put your comments on the feed here, or you can go to my website and contact me there. But I just wanted to, again, let you know about there's the 24 sacred gifts. They're broken up into categories. And I have a program called, Monique's is called Discover Your Sacred Gifts, and I do the mentoring with the sacred gifts. It's just like this. It's a Google Hangout. It's danasmithers.com/programs/sacred-gifts. And it is a 4-week program. So we spend about an hour together, and we have a group on the Google Hangout, so you'll be part of the live show if you want, or you can just watch when the program is on. And we have a private community where you can post your thoughts about your sacred gifts. Oh, look what I uncovered. And another thing that I love about doing the Sacred Gifts program, is that people get to know one another. And so you can become friends later on, or you could talk about your sacred gifts, or maybe this private community that I'm creating is the only place where you can go to really talk about spiritual things. So if that's the case, I hope you'll join us on that program. Again, I'm Dana Smithers, and I'm a certified sacred gifts guide. I'd love to help you find out what your sacred gifts are so you can make a difference in the world.